gaming enthusiasts, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. So today, if you hadn't guessed, we are on the Super City and I'm going to be stripping this subframe to pieces. I'm going to do it like I've done in some of the other videos recently, where I'm pretty much going to do it in real time and we'll have a chat through as I strip it apart. So let's get stuck into it. So whenever we're stripping something down, it's always worth just going round with a bit of duck oil, penetrating oil, giving everything a lube up. Just makes it easier to come apart. What usually happens is I forget to do this until it actually comes to working on the car, because ideally you need to give it a few minutes to properly penetrate. Now it is already partially stripped, this subframe. You'll see as we get to it, it'll be very quick to take apart the driveline, the hubs and that. I'm just removing the brake pipes here. I'm using a special spanner for it. It's like, it's 6 points for starters, so it grips the nut better. And it goes sort of 3/4 of the way round, if you can see. So it just gives a bit better, more grip, because they are prone to sort of rounding off, to be honest. Once I've cracked it off, I can go in with a normal spanner then. So we'll just get these off. At the end of the video today, I'll put in some footage. I've done that NEC Classic Car Show up in Birmingham a few weeks ago. I did put some video up on my other channel, so you might have already seen it. If you have, it's right at the end of the video, so it's not going to spoil anything. First time I've ever been up there. I think it's one of the biggest car shows in the UK. Certainly the biggest classic car show. They have like 3,000 classic cars on display. I was quite impressed with it. It was a good show. There was lots to see, too much to see in one day, unless you are really, you know, legging it round there. I drove up there in the TVR and yeah, I just found there was too much to get around in one day. Place was huge. Price wise, it was nearly 40 quid a ticket. I went on the Sunday. I think it's actually a bit cheaper on the Sunday. I'm sure it was like 39 quid. And then it was like £18.95 for parking, so not cheap at all. But it was a good show. Lots of cars that you don't usually see. Right, we're off to a bad start here, because this this nut here, well, it's bigger than a 3/8 and it's smaller than a 7/16. It is just corroded. It's meant to be a 7/16. It's probably just corrosion over time. So this is probably going to round off. I'm going to try a 10mm spanner on it. So I don't hold out much hope here of getting this undone without damaging it. That's quite a tight fit with a 10mm spanner. We might get lucky. If not, we're probably going to be replacing this brake pipe anyway. No, that's going to round off. So we're going to chop that off and then we'll put a socket onto it. So like I said, we're replacing this brake pipe anyway. And I've just chopped off this end. It should be able to. That's a 10mm socket, so it's not the right size, but it is now. It's corroded. Oh. And you know what? That's actually snapped the union. So I'm going to need to replace the brake pipe as well here. Wow. Let me get a close in of that. I've not had one do that before. There you go, it's actually snapped the union inside the brake hose. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a pain. Well, I say a pain, it just means we're gonna have to buy a brake hose as well. Just snap off the end of what's left of the brake pipe. There, stop it. Stop it properly. I'll the brake hose, but I anyway. Well. Well, you know what we do next? If that fails, then we get some heat on it. It's amazing how much difference a bit of heat makes, doesn't it? So, we're not going to touch that for a while because that's going to be very hot. Right, so that's our hose disconnected. All the rest of this is loose, so it's going to be really easy just to pop off. But we need to take out the inner pot joint. So to do that, we'll need to remove the clip that holds it on, the metal clip in this case. You can usually just cut through these with side cutters, or you might need a hacksaw. Or we're just cheap. Now if we're going to reuse these pot joints, we want to make sure that we keep the same sides. So this one is near side front, or near side. So I've just marked that in there. If you don't remove the pot joint, it won't come out through the hole that you've got in the subframe here. So everything else is just done by finger tight, because it was all taken apart when we had to remove the drive shafts from the engine. Okay, bottom swivel up. Top swivel, and then the whole lot comes out together. Whole assembly. Now we need to get the pin out for the bottom arm and the nut out at the front for the tie rod. We should just be able to tap this pin through. There we go. Obviously putting the nut back on so we protect the threads. There we go. And we want our nut off the front here. I think these are the Mini Spares competition front tie rod bushes. So they have rubber at the back, poly at the front, and that gives the best performance in terms of sort of under braking, accelerating and performance. These arms actually look pretty good. I'm not sure I'm going to have these powder coated now, because the problem is powder coats all the threads as well. Powder coating is quite thick and it does cause you problems, so I might just paint them. I'm going to try not to adjust them because the setup on this all seemed pretty good. I don't want to have to redo the whole setup, so that's one side apart. Try and spin this round now, so Next I need to get the bottom arm out, but this arm will be under tension from the donut here. So the donut will be pushing down on the bottom arm, make it almost impossible to get out. It has got high-lows on it, so we could just really slacken off the high-lows. That's what we'll probably try to begin with. I might not have to use a cone compressor. Depends how tight this cone is, the donut. If the donut's very new, then you might find you have to compress the cone to get the bottom arm out. Never remember what size spanners. Now I'm going metric here. That's 34. 34.27 I'm using. that's all the way de-adjusted and it's still under tension, so we are going to have to use the cone compressor. So it's two different thread sizes that go in here. It's either metric or imperial. You'll find out because one of them won't thread in. Once we've got the centre bolt in a bit, and then just start adjusting the outside, and this will start pulling tension off the donut. You see we've got tension off there now. We'll just take a bit more off. So there we go, we've got tension off the donut now, which will mean we can get the bottom pin out okay. I might actually take a bit more, I want it off that bottom bump stop really. And then the pin under at the back end will slide out forwards. That's better. I like a nice bit of play in it like that. So what you can do to make life easier for yourself, when you get to doing this front one, rather than undo that nut, undo the plate. So there's two 7/16 there. One side is captive, the other one is a nut and bolt. Undo them and then you'll be able to get a lever bar in here to pull the whole pin out with the plate still on it. So first one's a captive one. There we go. And the second one has got a nut on the inside. There we go, nut and bolt. Now we should be able to give this pin tap on the end. Always put the nut back on so you don't damage the threads, and then it will start coming out the front here, as you can see. Get a lever bar just to help us. There is the pin, and now the arm will just fall out with the suspension cone on it. I could have still de-adjusted that a bit. You can see there's some clear thread there. We'll have a look at this in a moment. Now we just need to slacken off the spring compressor. Now that's off, our rubber donut literally just falls out the bottom. And yeah, looking at these, they don't look too old, which is good. So there's a couple of final bits to get off. There's a suspension bump stop up here. Bit of penetrating oil on there. And there's also this lower bump stop here, which is held in by a posi drive screw, which can make it a pain to get off. If you have it though, a hammer driver is a very, very useful tool here. Yeah, it's not a bolt, it's a, what would you call it, a set screw. Can get very corroded in there. It's quite a fine thread, and obviously it's open to all the elements. So just the bump stop to go. The bump stop has a 11/16 nut that's on the inside there, that holds that bump stop in place. Luckily that's coming off nicely. So yeah, you've got a big fat washer, then the bump stop, and then on the inside you'll have a spring washer and a 7/16 nut. Those bump stops are actually okay. Right, it's pretty much just rinse and repeat on the other side. Turn round, maybe you'll get to see a different perspective of it. Don't run it into your sports pattern arches like I just did. It's always a danger when you're working in a tight workshop, is that you damage other cars around you as you're working. It almost becomes unavoidable sometimes, even when you're trying to be careful, unfortunately. Right, I think we're nearly there. There is just, I haven't taken off the engine mount yet, the lower engine mount, so I need to get that off. Come don't fight. If you fight, you just get bigger tools. See how you get on with this then. Oh, you gave up quite easily there. There we go. One last thing I can see on here, which probably gets forgotten sometimes, is the clips for the brake pipe that runs across the front of the subframe. A lot of times these don't get put back on. It just holds the brake pipe as it goes around the front of the subframe, stops it vibrating. Right, bear with me while I tidy up. So there we are, that's the subframe all stripped now. That is ready to go to the powder coaters. It's amazing how much lighter it is once all the components are taken off there. But yeah, like I said, I've had a good look around while I've been stripping that. Looks to be a good subframe, so it's going to go off and be powder coated in satin black. Then over here we've got all of our driveline. This obviously all still needs stripping yet. I need to start ordering parts, so we'll definitely be doing top and bottom swivels. I'll probably do the inner pot joints. We'll probably do CV boots. Don't think I'm going to touch the bearings. These bushes all look quite new, so again, sometimes it's better the devil you know. If the rubber's good, reuse it, because the rubber you get nowadays is absolutely rubbish. High-lows look relatively new, so we'll just clean them up. The pins, I did take the pin out of this side, and as you can see, it wouldn't have had any play in that pin, but you can see it has started to fail. The needle rollers are probably seized within there. Bit of discoloration on the end, so although there's no wear, there was no play in that. That will cause problems in the future. The other side, much better, but again, I think even if you look at this, there's a little mark in there. Little bit of corrosion just starting. So again, for the price of those bearings and the pins at the end, it's probably just worth replacing them. But things like this, so these lower bump stops, that's an original rubber one. It's still marked Mowog. I'll probably just clean that up and refit it. If it's not perished and it's not broken, like I say, getting decent rubber nowadays is a problem. That brake hose we had trouble with, that was the one there. So the union is snapped off inside the hose, and then obviously I had to snap the hose off itself to get it off. So it's off. Main bit we need is that top nut, but we'll be replacing the hoses. So I need to get on and do a mini spares order. I need to also have a look what I've got in the parts bin, because I don't want to. I've probably got a set of swivels. I might even have top arm pins. I'll probably do the top knuckles as well. Interesting is 2 different sizes of these depending on what type of high-lows you've got, so you need to make sure you get the right ones. These rubbers are quite prone to perishing as well. Those rubbers actually feel quite hard, but they would have been replaced when the high-lows were done. You'll notice these have got a built-in washer in them. If you want to get your Mini really low, you want the ones without this washer in there, because it allows the high-low to go a little bit lower. But yeah, all good. Like I say, I just need to make up a mini spares order now, get all this stripped, start rebuilding it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. If you want to drop me a comment, I read all the comments. I'll catch you again next week. Cheers.